You know, ever since I was a kid, and I believe you guys will have the same sentiment, before the Clone Wars animated show, Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader, the tragedy that entails is enough as it is. You see the original trilogy and your heart breaks because of Luke Skywalker, seeing him grow up without a father, without a mother, and becoming that strong of a Jedi in the end, making his dad turn against his master, something that was not deemed possible by even Palpatine, the ultimate calculator who let his guard down for Darth Vader to ultimately kill him. What we learned then in the Clone Wars decades later is that the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker was much, much bigger than we first thought. It's not just Luke Skywalker, it's not just Obi-Wan, it's Ahsoka, it's Rex, it's all of these side characters that were deeply attached to Anakin Skywalker and who he really was deep inside. He was a good man, he was a good Jedi that was led astray by an evil, dark Lord of the Sith. Now, much has been debated about what actually happened between Rex and Ahsoka after the Clone Wars Season 7, the final season, that we saw them not only tackle Darth Maul together, but in the end, they faked their own deaths and went their separate ways. With the Bad Batch now, more specifically Episode 6 and 7, what we saw from that, and I've been discussing it a lot during these last few videos. If you've been following, if you're not, please subscribe and leave a like down below because we're talking major topics during these couple of weeks because I really want to get to the bottom of this. This is really getting me interested in a deeper way that I thought much deeper than just the movies and just what we see on the surface. Because much of you might not have realized that up until this point where we see Captain Rex in the Bad Batch, where we saw him in the last episodes, Rex probably, I'm thinking until it is revealed, Rex still, believe it or not, doesn't know that his old general, Anakin Skywalker, the person he was most attached to, has now turned into a Sith Lord, Darth Vader, and is in league with the Emperor, trying to not only destroy what the Republic stood for, what Rex fought for, but indirectly, Darth Vader is responsible for these clones getting rounded up and sent for experimentation. Essentially, his old general and friend is responsible for all of this. This is what Captain Rex still doesn't realize and doesn't know. So my question is, of course, watching the Bad Batch, knowing that at the very least, Asajj Ventress will be back, as we saw in the trailers, will we see a secret surprise super cameo by Darth Vader by the end of this series and by the end of this season? Will the Bad Batch just bid us farewell by the final episode and we see Captain Rex forming his new group with perhaps Echo and Wolf, Gregor, who knows? As I said yesterday, I'm waiting for Commander Cody still. And just as they take off, just as this new clone group takes off, similar to how Season 7 ended of the Clone Wars, you have Darth Vader coming back again in animated version. And he is picking up clues as to where these rogue clones are going off to, signaling to us, of course, the audience, that Darth Vader is now after Captain Rex and the others. This is why I'm telling you guys, video after video, I'm constantly saying that we need a new animated clone series. This is why, headed by Dave Filoni perhaps, or at least produced, because a new clone series means that Rex and the gang, Wolf, Gregor, Cody, all of them back together, they are going up against the Empire. And who is the main villain? Well, you know, Darth Vader. He just goes after these clones, and we perhaps have a full clone rebellion on Tantis. It will be great. That is the moment where Hemlock is no longer valuable, where nobody's valuable any longer, and to protect the secrets of the Emperor, especially Project Necromancer, perhaps this is the moment where Darth Vader is finally deployed against the clones. This is where Vader and Rex get face to face. This is where they meet up, and this is perhaps when Darth Vader learns that Rex is responsible for this rebellion, and Rex learns that Vader is responsible for this entire chaos, for his brothers and the Jedi's demise. I really imagine it in my head, just picture it for a second. Stand with me right here, just sit or stand, whatever you're doing, close your eyes and think of that scene. Darth Vader breathing slowly, looking on into the eyes of Captain Rex, a demoralized, depressed Captain Rex who is trying his best at this point but just cannot succeed against this gigantic empire, and now Vader has been sent to dispatch him once and for all. This is two old friends now stand against each other face to face as enemies. I really imagine this constantly. When I'm talking about this scene, this is the moment when I think it's going to be the crescendo, the biggest moment in Star Wars animated history. All of the Clone Wars seasons that have passed, Star Wars Rebels, and now the Bad Batch, all of them can move past. I think this will be, if not the biggest, and one of the biggest moments you guys have ever seen in Star Wars. I can promise you that. And I hope somebody from, the animated department or somebody from the creative team is listening to what I'm saying at this moment. This is what the fans want. I can guarantee you. I've seen the comments. I've seen posts and discussions online between fans. This is a green light, and I promise you, guys, if anybody's listening from Lucasfilm, this is going to be something special. If for anything, this series should be created because of this moment that I'm talking about right now. Captain Rex doesn't know who Darth Vader really is, and imagine him finding out at that moment. It's a similar moment, of course, Ahsoka Maul were standing off, and at that point, Maul started rattling off the entire secret of Darth Sidious, how he is grooming Anakin Skywalker to become Darth Vader, and how the Jedi Order's days are numbered. It was this moment of truth. It was this moment of realization. Of course, Ahsoka failed at that point because she didn't believe Maul, which she had a reason to, of course, to not believe him, but it was a mistake nonetheless. If she had believed actually Maul, then the both of them could have stopped Sidious, perhaps, and even Darth Vader, but it's a similar moment here. We need to see Rex's face during that moment of truth. We can't see Darth Vader's face, but I imagine his reaction would be not immediate forced choking of Rex. He would have a sentimental moment here, and of course any sentimental moment, any moment of feeling from Darth Vader is much appreciated, similar to the Ahsoka moment we got in Rebels and much more, These are the moments that fans remember, that Star Wars history remembers. These are the moments that will live on forever, and I think that a moment between Captain Rex and Vader will live on forever as well, because it's a deep-seated connection going back now almost 20 years since the Clone Wars series. And yes, in the end, there are still questions to be answered, because neither in the Bad Batch or during Star Wars Rebels, where an old Rex is talking to, we never find out really if he knows that Darth Vader is Anakin, if he ever found out during his life. We certainly know by Star Wars Rebels that Ahsoka never really figured it out, although it's really weird, but whatever. Ahsoka learns, or at the very least accepts, that Darth Vader is Anakin during their fight on Malachor. But did Ahsoka ever tell Rex? I've made a video about this, honestly, a couple of years ago, and I did the same question. I posed the same question. We clearly see during Season 7 that Ahsoka finds out about Sidious's plans for Anakin from Maul. Then, after Maul is captured, Ahsoka and Rex have an extensive chat. Did Ahsoka tell Rex during those moments before Order 66 that Anakin was being groomed to become a Sith Lord? Even if he didn't find out during that time, did he find out during Star Wars Rebels, during An Old Man? It's really an open-ended question, and until I get an answer, I really want to see that moment. Guys, do you want a new clone animated series, a clone rebellion of sorts with Dave Filoni heading this new series, and would you want to see a meeting between Darth Vader and Rex?